The Subway Series. It's like Christmas morning for New York sports fans, and this year it's a little extra spicy. There's a little extra barbecue sauce. There's a little extra jerk chicken at the table when it comes to Mets and Yankee fans in the first rendition of the Subway Series of the 2025 season. For me, it's hitting extra home. 25 straight years it'll make for me going to the Subway Series. It's a tradition I started back in 2000. I didn't know then it would become an annual tradition, but I fell in love with it. And once in my first year, the two teams faced off in the World Series. My first full year as a baseball fan at 9 years old, from start to finish, locked in. I was like, this could be something. And for many of these years, it's always been the Yankees are the big brother, the Mets are the little brother. The Mets will never compare. The Yankees will always spend more. They'll always win more. They'll always be better. The Mets will always be the redheaded stepchild. Well, the times have changed. And while the Yankees still have 27, the Mets have 2. The Mets aren't the little brother anymore. They're the team that spends as much as the Yankees. They're the team that right now is better than the New York Yankees. And that's not saying anything about the Yankees franchise. The Yankees franchise obviously has had a much more successful run. But right now, the tides have changed. And with the fact that the Mets took the Yankees' best player last year, paid him more, and brought him to Queens, it stings in the Bronx. And it's going to sting all weekend. And it's a feeling you're going to get used to when you hear the nonstop boos of Juan Soto. You're watching Mets Daily. I'm your host, Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Radio. Make sure you smash that thumbs up on this video right now. Subscribe to Mets Daily. Share the channel with your family and friends. We appreciate the support. I'm Jake Brown Radio on all social media. We'll be there in the Bronx all weekend. Can't wait. And Friday night it begins. And like I said, 25 years. Started in 2000 up to 2025. Was there in cardboard cutout form, and no one was there in 2020. So this will be my 25th actual, year going to games and 25 years in a row. So it really would be 26 if there was no pandemic, if you understand the math and where I'm going there. And, it's going to be electric this weekend. And it always is. But one, the weekend is always better. None of that Monday through Thursday BS garbage. Always should be 2-3 game series on the weekend. But with what I said, with Juan Soto, with the Mets nearly winning a pennant, with the Yankees winning a pennant, I just wrote a story for Mets on SI about it today think about it. Like, besides 2000, and that's the cream of the crop, you play each other in a World Series. 2001, the Yankees make the World Series, the Mets don't make the playoffs. 2006, yes, the Mets were good. They go to the NLCS, they lose then. 2007, the Mets collapse. 2008, the Mets collapse. Mets don't make the playoffs again until 2015, but that year the Mets weren't good to the last few months. That kind of came together in the second half of the season. 2016, the Mets lost in a one-game playoff. 2022, the Mets were bounced in the first round of the playoffs. This year's different. The Mets were 2 wins from a pennant. They were the talk of the town with OMG and Grimace and the magical run they went on last year. And now their roster and their record is better than the Yankees going into the series, with all projections have the Mets being better than the Yankees this season. That's not a Mets thing. That's the projections. That's what everyone's saying when you look at the roster, that the Mets are the better team than the Yankees. And with the money that they're spending, with the GM they have, with the owner in place, it just feels like the tide is turning a little bit. And I'm not saying they'll ever match the Yankees, but with how they're spending, with how they're running this organization, you're starting to see people would rather go to Citi Field than Yankee Stadium. I know a lot of Yankee fans who rather go to Met games than Yankee games. And that's a testament to not just the fun at Citi Field, the great food, the better food, number one food in baseball, but it's a testament to what this franchise is doing as a whole, as a winner, as a baseball product, and wanting to get people to the ballpark, not just for a sideshow, but for the actual baseball as well. And it's going to be a good one in the Bronx. Friday, you get Tyler McGill against Carlos Rodon. Saturday, you get Griffin Canning versus Clark Schmidt in a battle of righties. And Sunday, a battle of the Southpaws, and David Peterson versus Max Fried. It's going to be a tough one. I predict the Mets take Friday, Saturday, they lose on Sunday. I say the Mets take 2 out of 3. But listen, right now the record is slightly better. It's not a long shot. Mets are 28-16. The Yankees are 25-18. So the Mets are 2.5 games better. A Yankee sweep, and they take that lead. But man, get ready. And Juan Soto's going to have to get ready for plenty of boos, where he said 50,000 against 1 essentially. He knows what the treatment he's going to get. He's fine with it. He's the enemy, and I think he is going to feed off it this weekend. I expect a massive weekend for Juan Soto. I would think he hits a home run, maybe two. Now, homering off Fried will be tough. Fried has notoriously been good against the Mets with a 2.5 ERA against them with a long sample size. Obviously, his years with the Braves and everyone else. So, Fried's going to be tough, but I expect the Mets to beat Clark Schmidt and probably beat Carlos Rodon. So, Juan Soto, man, extra security in right field. There's going to be some hooligan Yankee fans that are throwing things at him. Be smart. Fans, don't throw things. Boo, fine. But don't charge the field. Don't throw things. He's going to get the curses. He's going to have the signs. But, he was there a year. He was that girlfriend that you love that was there for a month and you guys ended things. He was there for a cup of coffee. And I know you're mad he left, and especially for the Mets. But to throw things on the field and do things similar like they did to Mookie Betts, that fan, in the World Series, like grab his glove or do anything stupid where you're going to end up in jail just to be a headline story for a night and never come back to the ballpark again, don't do it. Be smart. And that's, you got to be in your seat. First at bat, Juan Soto, get in early on Friday. I'm sure the lines are going to be nuts to get in extra on Friday because everyone wants to see that first at bat. It's going to come quick. It's Lindor, Soto, boom, top of the first. It's going to hit really quick, 7:07 p.m., maybe 7:06, 7:11. Anytime in that 7:05 to 7:12 range, you're probably going to see Juan Soto up. So get on in and buckle up and enjoy the ride. But it's got extra juice to it, man. When its standing room is 110 to get into the Subway Series in May, it means business, especially when the Knicks are the same night. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people similar to me that might be leaving early to go watch the Knicks game, but they want to see Soto's first at-bat or two and get a couple innings in, and then maybe come back for the full game Saturday afternoon. Looks like the weather will hold up and be fine Friday. Saturday, maybe an hour or two rain delay, but otherwise will be fine, and Sunday is clear. So all games should be played the same day, same night. We're ready to go, and 4th of July weekend is the Citi Field rendition. We'll have a better idea of what these teams look like, what the records are then. But right now you're looking at a first place World Series possibility maybe 25 years later. If the Knicks can make the Eastern Conference Finals 25 years later, why can't the Mets and Yankees make the World Series 25 years later? And it's a thing that happens in the New York sports world. Remember, the Mets made the World Series, the Yankees made it that year, the Giants made the Super Bowl, the Knicks make the finals 99, Eastern Conference Finals 2000. So New York sports has a history of being all really good at the same time. Devils were great then. So it all seems to always line up, and it just, maybe it has that feeling that my tradition started 2000, 25 years later, they play again in a World Series, and this time you better believe I would be at that World Series. So that is going to be fun. Well, one guy who might not be on the roster, but might be at some point in the next month is Jose Castillo. You probably never heard of him. The Mets have acquired Jose Castillo for cash considerations on Thursday night from the Arizona Diamondbacks. In return, they designate Kevin Herget for assignment, who you remember made that quick outing for the Mets and did a good job in it. But now it's Jose Castillo. Now, this is a classic example of a guy that is going to go to the Jeremy Hefner pitching lab, and the Mets will try to get him right in the lab. Clearly, teams see something in him because, he's dealt with injuries. He had a tore ACL in 2024. He's coming back from that. This is a guy who has not pitched a ton in the major leagues. He, 2025 this year with Arizona, the Mets just faced him, gave him a couple runs. 6 1/3, he's given up 8 earned runs. The ERA is 11.37. Last year, it's not even fair. 2023, had a third of an inning, 4 runs, so his ERA is 108. So that really inflated his numbers, unfortunately, for him. 2022, again, 1 inning, 1 run. His ERA is 9. 2019, after injuries in between, 2/3 of an inning. 2018 was the only year he actually had innings, 38 1/3, and he had a 3.29 ERA. So it's been 7 years since this guy had legit major league innings. In the minor, he has more minor league experience where he has a 3.71 career minor league ERA. So clearly the Mets see something in his lefty. They're going to take him to the lab. They have Brooks Raley coming next month too. So the Mets add another lefty depth into the fold. And with how David Stearns works, Jose Castillo will probably be a key part of this bullpen and be great at some point. So we'll see about that. Subway Series, buckle up Enjoy the ride. Can't wait to see you at the ballpark. We'll be getting content for my socials at Jake Brown Radio, for Mets Daily, at Mets Daily Show on Twitter. Smash that thumbs up in the video. Comment below. Will you be there? What do you think? Are we overhyping the Subway Series? Do you think it's just another series? To me, you're going to see Yankee Stadium buzzing. The chants, the fights off the field. Everyone be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't fight anyone. Although I say that, there will be fights. But be smart this weekend. Have fun. Cheer on your team. Boo the other team. This is the weekend. Yeah, you could say F the Yankees. You could say F the Mets. Whatever. This is the weekend to do it. It's all in good fun. But the Mets are no longer the stepchild anymore. We're here to stay. The team is real. And we might see the Mets maybe even go further than the Yankees this year. Yankees made it further last year. But we might see that change this year. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the games this weekend. We'll be back Monday. Maybe we'll do a weekend show from Yankee Stadium. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the Subway Series. Let's go Mets and let's go Knicks. Orange and blue skies, baby.